quit raised beds. To discover 3 ancient growing methods that grow more food naturally. Have you ever wondered why some gardeners swear raised beds aren't the only way, or even the best way to grow more food naturally? Long before modern landscaping, ancient farmers discovered genius techniques that made soil and water work for them instead of against them, producing abundant harvests on slopes, dry plains, and tough terrain. In this video, you'll uncover 3 ancient growing methods that grow more food without raised beds and help your garden thrive by tapping into timeless wisdom from around the world. One, grow more food naturally with polyculture and mixed cropping. Many ancient farmers understood that nature doesn't grow one plant in a big bare field. It grows many different plants together in complex, living systems. This idea is called polyculture or mixed cropping, where multiple crops grow together in the same space instead of being kept separately. When you plant different crops side by side, they help each other. Some plants improve the soil, others shade the ground, and some naturally repel pests. The famous Three Sisters system, corn, beans, and squash, is one ancient example where each plant supports the others and creates more food in one area than if each was planted alone. This natural growing method works without raised beds because it mimics the way ecosystems function, promoting healthier plant growth and more abundant harvests. Polyculture helps soil fertility in ways that single crop planting never can because plants have different root depths and nutrient uses. When you combine shallow-rooted plants with deep-rooted ones, the roots explore different layers of the soil, bringing nutrients up from below and reducing the need for outside fertilizers. Some plants in the mix, like legumes, naturally add nitrogen to the soil, feeding their neighbor plants without synthetic chemicals. Growing this way also dampens disease and pest spread because pests find it harder to spread when plants are diverse rather than uniform. This ancient method thrives on biodiversity and shows that growing lots of food naturally requires working with natural systems rather than trying to fight them. As a gardener, you can start small by thinking about which plants benefit each other when planted together in one patch instead of worrying about building raised beds. Choose crops with different needs but complementary traits, like root vegetables with leafy greens or beans with corn, and plant them in the same area. Over time, the soil becomes richer and more resilient because living roots and organic matter are always cycling nutrients back into the ground. You'll find that your plants are less stressed by pests and drought because the mixed layout creates a more balanced microenvironment. This ancient intercropping strategy naturally increases your overall food production without any complicated structures, tools, or raised soil. This method also encourages seasonal succession of crops, meaning you can plant again and again throughout the year in the same space, instead of relying on separate beds for each planting. In many traditional systems, farmers grew multiple crops in sequences that matched the seasons, allowing the soil to rest and replenish between heavy plantings. Practices like alternating leafy plants, fruits, and soil-enriching legumes help maintain nutrient balance and lowered the risk of exhausting the soil. You can follow similar practices today by rotating crops each season, observing how the soil and plants respond, and learning from that feedback. This rhythm of planting and resting brings ancient wisdom into your garden and can produce more food naturally than rigid raised beds. Finally, unlike modern monoculture, polyculture teaches gardeners to observe and respond to nature rather than impose rigid structure on it, which is exactly why it worked for generations before industrial farming. Instead of building elaborate raised beds, this method roots food production in the living relationships between plants, soil, and seasons. You'll notice your garden becoming more alive, with butterflies, beneficial insects, and healthy soil organisms all thriving alongside your crops. This natural growing strategy is a reminder that you can produce abundant food by harmonizing with ecological principles that humans have used for centuries. When you adopt this ancient wisdom, your garden becomes a living system, not just a set of boxes filled with soil. Two, Zai, an ancient water harvesting method that brings soil back to life. The Zai technique is a traditional planting method from the Sahel region of Africa that uses small digging pits to catch rainwater and concentrate nutrients where crops grow best. In this method, gardeners dig pits about the size of a dinner plate and a few inches deep, then fill them with organic matter like compost, manure, or straw before sowing seeds. These pits trap moisture and protect soil from washing away during heavy rains, which lets water stay available for the plant roots for longer periods. By keeping water and nutrients focused around each plant's roots, Zai boosts soil fertility and plant health even in dry, nutrient-poor landscapes. This approach has been used for centuries and helps turn degraded soil into productive ground without the need for built-up raised beds. One key benefit of Zai is how it improves water infiltration and storage in the soil. When rain falls, the shape of the pit slows down runoff and lets more water sink deep into the earth, making it available to crops when rainfall is scarce. The concentrated organic material in the pit breaks down and releases nutrients directly where the plant roots can use them, reducing waste and increasing growth. This water harvesting design can significantly improve yields for crops like sorghum and millet compared to flat, unamended soil. Over time, the presence of organic matter also boosts soil structure and resilience to drought. The use of organic matter in Zai pits also encourages soil life and biodiversity, which makes the soil stronger and more productive. As compost and manure break down, they attract helpful soil organisms like earthworms and beneficial microbes that create channels in the soil and improve aeration. This living soil network helps roots grow deeper and access more moisture and nutrients over time. In many areas where Zai is used, farmers have seen dramatic increases in crop yields, sometimes several times higher than in areas without the technique. The method's success shows that working with natural soil processes pays off more than trying to isolate plants in raised beds. Zai pits also help protect crops from extreme weather variations like sudden heavy rains or longer dry spells. Because the pit structure slows surface water flow, it reduces the risk of erosion and stops valuable topsoil from washing away. During dry periods, the moisture stored deep in the soil becomes a lifeline for young plants, helping them survive stress that would otherwise stunt their growth. This water buffering makes Zai particularly suited to arid and semi-arid climates where rainfall is unpredictable. For gardeners in regions with dry seasons or sporadic rainfall, Zai offers a simple but effective way to improve water resilience. Gardeners can adapt the Zai method to small plots or larger fields without constructing raised beds. Instead of lifting soil up, Zai calls for digging soil down in strategic spots where crops will grow, concentrating both water and nutrition in one place. In traditional practice, pits are spaced evenly across the planting area so soil and water work together to support dense, healthy plant growth. This concentrated approach also helps keep weeds down because each pit is a focused planting station, reducing wasted space. By choosing this ancient method, gardeners can make more food in the same footprint of land with less reliance on external fertilizers or irrigation infrastructure. 3. Terracing. How ancient stair-like fields grow more food while saving soil and water. Terrace farming is one of the most ancient and powerful methods humans developed to grow crops on sloped or hilly land by creating level steps into the hillside so that water and soil stay where plants need them. Instead of letting rain rush down a slope and wash away fertile topsoil, farmers carve out flat platforms or steps that hold soil and moisture, making the land farmable and productive. This approach was used across the world, from the Andes Mountains in South America to the rice terraces of Southeast Asia, to turn steep terrain into lush, productive fields. The genius of terrace farming lies in how it conserves water, prevents erosion, and increases soil fertility, all without relying on modern raised bed structures. This ancient method changes the layout of the land in a way that helps plants get steady water and nutrients during the full growing season. One of the biggest benefits you can highlight to viewers is how terraces slow down water runoff so that rainwater doesn't sweep away precious soil and nutrients. When rain hits a steep slope without terraces, the water rushes down, carrying soil and organic matter with it, essentially robbing a garden of its lifeblood. Terraces interrupt that downhill flow and spread water evenly across each level, allowing it to soak into the soil where plants need it most. This conservation of moisture not only nurtures crops, it means plants have access to water for longer after it rains, which is especially useful in regions with unpredictable rainfall. Without this method, water could quickly leave the planting area and soil fertility would steadily decline. Terrace farming also protects soil structure and helps maintain fertility over many seasons, something modern gardeners working with raised beds often struggle to manage. When soil stays in place on a terrace rather than washed away, rich topsoil remains available to plant roots, meaning nutrients aren't lost to gullies or streams. Over years of use, terraces help build deeper, richer soil because organic matter from crop residues and mulch stays put and continues feeding the land. This results in higher crop yields and more reliable harvests than simply planting on unmodified slopes. Many traditional terrace regions around the world still produce food reliably on steep hillsides because of this long-term soil protection. Another remarkable advantage for gardeners to consider is how terraces make steep or uneven land farmable, land that would otherwise be too difficult to cultivate. In ancient times, societies in mountainous areas relied on terrace systems to feed entire communities because flat farmland was scarce. By creating step-like platforms, farmers essentially expanded the amount of usable land without clearing forests or draining wetlands. This clever land-shaping strategy turned cliffs and gradients that once grew nothing into places bursting with grains, vegetables, and fruit trees. That means for anyone with a slope in their yard or property, terraces offer a way to grow significantly more food in space that previously felt unusable. Terraces also help regulate water for crops, making farming more resilient to both heavy rains and dry spells. A key reason ancient civilizations adopted this method long before irrigation systems existed. Water falling on a terraced field moves slowly from one level to the next, giving every plant a chance to absorb it rather than having most lost to runoff. In dry periods or drought-prone regions, the soil on each terrace holds moisture for longer because it is less exposed to direct flow and evaporation. This slow, step-by-step water distribution helps plants thrive even when rain is sparse or erratic, an essential advantage for true sustainable growing. Conclusion. From digging water-catching pits to growing many crops together and carving terraced steps into hillsides, ancient growing methods show us that nature-aligned practices still outperform many modern shortcuts, especially when it comes to soil, water, and plant health. By bringing these traditional techniques into your garden, you'll grow more food naturally, sustainably, and with less effort than rigid raised beds ever promised. Embrace ancient wisdom, help your soil thrive, and watch your harvests flourish like never before.